We await the Sue Gray report, which is expected today. So what we thought we'd do is speak to Sue Gray and Sue Gray and Sue Gray. Yes, we've got a special panel of Sue Grays. So let's go first of all to Surrey Sue Gray. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning.
We've also got Somerset Sue Gray. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning, Matt.
And we've got Hampshire Sue Gray. Good morning, Sue. Tell us about yourself, Sue. What did you do? What was lockdown like for you?
Probably pretty normal to what it was every day, because I'm a key worker. I work for a bank and I work for a Christian charity with my church called Christians Against Poverty. So we were continuing to work. I had children at home. That made the difference. And I've got two autistic boys, which made it very difficult.
And what have you made of what appears to have been going on in Downing Street?
I've been saddened, really, about the things that took place. I think people should be held accountable. But the thing that saddens me most is that this is taking away from us, from the government actually dealing with the things which are most important, like the increase in fuel, the increase in the cost of living, which so affects the most vulnerable people in society.
And just give me a sense of your politics. How did you? Is it right you voted Remain, voted Conservative, but you now probably call yourself a floating voter?
I look at each time. I look at what's happening at the time, and I look at the individual MPs. I don't just think, right, I'm going to vote Tory, I'm going to vote Labour. I look at individual MPs. Our local MP is very good, so that's why I voted for him, and it'll depend on the actual election of what I vote for at the time. I don't just vote on personalities. I just look at their policies and see what they're doing. And obviously my most important thing is what's happening for the most vulnerable and for people with mental health issues.
Thanks for that. That's Surrey Sue Gray. Somerset Sue Gray, who actually,
Hi.
you live very, very close, it turns out, to where I grew up, don't you?
I do, yes, probably a couple of villages away, I would imagine, Matt.
Mates, down on the Somerset levels.
That's right, yeah. Right in the middle.
Tell me your story. How do you normally vote? What was lockdown like for you?
Lockdown for me was great at the start because it was my husband and I just spending a lot of time together going out for walks and things because I'm in the vulnerable category. So we stayed our distance from everybody. Coming out of lockdown is very scary. So from that point of view, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it, really? Normally I vote Labour. I've had 30 years in childcare. I'm an early years childcare teacher, and I just feel that Labour have always supported our families and children. So for me, they would never get my vote, even though I live in a Tory stronghold.
I was going to say, I think you might be the only person in that seat
yeah,
who
probably
am. Knowing the area. And what have you made, given what you went through and your concern about, both abiding by the rules, but also the impact on your safety? What have you made of the revelations coming out about parties in Number 10?
I just think it's complete hypocrisy, but I really don't expect anything more, I don't think. I'm not a Tory follower, so they would never get my backing anyway. I just think they're a load of toffs.
Well, that's Somerset Sue Gray's view. Let's go to. That's fine. No, it's good. That's why we wanted to get a panel on. We can now go to Hampshire Sue Gray, who it is genuinely by total coincidence. Hampshire Sue Gray lives in this town that I live in now.
Oh wow.
You're in Fleet, aren't you, Sue?
I am.
Yes. This is very weird. I'm surrounded by Sue Grays. Sue, give us. You voted Brexit, voted Tory for the first time in 2019. Is that right?
I did. Yes. It took a lot to vote Conservative. I've never ever voted Conservative, but I did in 2019 for the first time.
And what made you do that last time?
I was a Brexit supporter, so I felt the Conservatives were the party to take us forward with Brexit. That was really my main reason for voting Conservative. I'm also was not a huge fan of Jeremy Corbyn. So there's no way I could ever vote Labour while Jeremy Corbyn was in charge. So I felt Conservative. Also, we live in a very, as you know, a very blue area. So I like our MP. So that's why I voted Conservative the last time.
Given what you know has gone on since, both what happened during lockdown for you personally and what's been going on in Number 10, has that changed your mind about Boris Johnson?
Yes. I mean, I thought Boris was probably like this all along, would say one thing and do completely the opposite. However, it was the Brexit issue that pushed us to vote for him. Would I vote for him again? I'd have to see, again, like the previous Sue, I would probably have to see what the policies of Labour and the Lib Dems came out with. Again, I'm not a set in stone. I will choose who I think has got the best policies and go with that, really. It's not so much about the party, it's about the policies.
Now, we've got across our Sue Gray panel a pretty good spread of politics, Brexit and Remain, Labour and Conservative and so on. It feels like what's great about hearing from real life people, real life Sue Grays, is that everything's a bit more nuanced. You're not, out on, about to take to the streets demanding the Prime Minister resign. I just wonder how closely you've been following the revelations. I mean, have any of you had any issues about the fact that you share a name with the most famous anonymous official in the country?
I think it's been hilarious.
Now, hang on. You're going to have to introduce yourself. Which Sue Gray's that? Which county?
I'm Hampshire.
Hampshire Sue Gray. Go on, Hampshire Sue Gray.
It's been hilarious the last 3-4 weeks. I've had non-stop messages with the funny cartoons, that sort of thing. I told somebody today who didn't know my surname. She's only known me as Sue. And I said, you know what my surname, and she laughed. We were out with our dogs and she laughed all the way around the rest of the walk, not realising I was Sue Gray. My brother is very happily telling everybody that Sue Gray is his sister. So my friends all love the fact that they're friends with Sue Gray. So it's been quite, for me, it's been quite light-hearted. I mean, so many people have asked me when my report's being done. I went away recently and I was criticised for going away. I need to get on with the report. So it's been, I've taken it in a quite a funny, light-hearted way.
Surrey Sue Gray and Somerset Sue Gray, have you had similar experiences?
Somerset Sue Gray, exactly the same, really.
Oh, you have?
Every time I put a comment on Facebook, I'm told to get back to my report rather than the report coming out. So, very much the same.
Surrey Sue Gray, are you the same?
Yes, my colleagues have said stop concentrating on all these shenanigans and just get on and do some work and get on with that report and get it out. So it's very similar. My husband even said I need to report on what pants I should wear this morning. So it does get a bit.
Well, hopefully those jokes will come to an end from today when finally we get this report. Just finally, I just want to come around to all of you, just on a very straightforward question. Do you think everything that you know about the parties, the party in the garden, the suitcase of wine, the wine fridge, the disco, all of that, the party the night before the Duke of Edinburgh's funeral, the cheese and wine in the garden, the Allegra Stratton laughing, it was all of that. Put all that together. Do you think that Boris Johnson should resign, given everything that we know? Surrey Sue Gray, first of all.
I think it's obviously this is just my opinion. This is
of course.
Anybody else, but I do think it's sad, and whether he goes or whether he stays, I just wish we'd just get on with the other policies which are most important. It doesn't bother me in one ways whether he goes or whether he doesn't. I just want them to be accountable for it, and I want them to get back to some real work.
When you say be accountable for, what do you mean by that? Because I suppose if it was a cabinet minister who'd done this, they could be sacked as a cabinet minister and then maybe come back later on. It's just so difficult because it's the Prime Minister. So how do you think you could punish Boris Johnson without him having to resign?
Foggiest clue.
That's fair enough. Somerset Sue Gray, should Boris Johnson resign?
He should have resigned a long time ago, but then what about all the other people that are attending the parties with him? I find that, everywhere that I've gone that I thought, this is a bit iffy. Didn't those people think the same? And my punishment would be put him into an early years childcare, set him in charge of the toddler room for a year.
I mean,
Nothing less.
he has got experience of dealing with large numbers of children at once. So,
But he is a toddler. That's about where his level is for me.
and finally, Hampshire Sue Gray. Should Boris Johnson resign?
I'm waiting for my report to come out before I would make a decision on that, to be honest. So, no, I'm staying on the fence at the moment until I see the report.
I mean, we couldn't have planned it better. We've got a no, a yes, and a let's wait and see. We've covered the full gamut. Sue Gray's. Well, somebody was asking, is it Sue Gray's or Sue's Gray? What is the plural of Sue Gray? Nobody knows. Sue Gray from Surrey, Sue Gray from Somerset, Sue Gray for Hampshire. Thank you so much for joining us on Times Radio.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There we are. It's our focus group of Sue Grace. You'll be pleased that I didn't do a ding every single time I mentioned the name, because that would have driven us all up the wall. Right, up next, that was our Sue Gray focus group. Up next, we're going to pick through the polling to find out exactly where the public are on this. Are things turning? As Henry Zeffman was just suggesting, are the polls turning? Is Boris Johnson basically safe even before the Sue Gray report comes out? What did it?